Hey YouTube, Brandon Ascari here from Ascari Digital's Content Creator Academy, where, as you know, it is my goal to help educate and inspire you to being the best and most successful freelancer that I know you can be. If you haven't already, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, share the video with all your friends around the world, give us a big thumbs up. Ow. And don't forget to stay tuned every Monday and Wednesday at 5 p.m. so you can see the episodes when they first air. Now, in the meantime, let's go to the intro. And we're back. So let's start by talking about what the top 5 video editing softwares are in my opinion. Now, of course, I may or may not be biased. I started learning film production and film editing on a software called Final Cut Pro at the time. I think it was 7 from Studio HD 3 or whatever. And now I primarily use Adobe Premiere Pro, and I have for the last 7, 8 years, something like that. Number 5 on the list is going to be HitFilm. HitFilm is a free software that you could use for video editing. It is a non-linear video editing software which is pretty intuitive. It helps primarily with its focus on special effects, but you can actually cut together a story no problem in there, and it is a free software that I believe works on Mac and PC. So it's a really good software. I've used it a couple of times, not too frequently to be honest with you, because I do edit primarily on Premiere, but I generally have to say, from my students who have used the software as their primary nonlinear editor, or NLE, they love it. They think it's amazing. It does have some difficulties where sometimes you'll get random error messages that you're not used to seeing, but if you shoot on Premiere, you will know that there are always random error messages that appear even on the creme de la creme of video editing softwares. So that's number 5. Number 4 is going to be Final Cut Pro. Final Cut X. Final Cut Pro X is a software that I had a love-hate relationship with. Like I said, I got started on Final Cut 7. Now, I loved Final Cut 7, and I think Premiere actually took a lot from that platform when they made their editing software and how they've adjusted it. When they made the transition to X, please excuse me, I'm going to rant a little bit, it didn't feel professional anymore. I don't feel like it's a very good editing software for people who are doing this for a living. It's intuitive, it's friendly, it works great on Apple computers, but it just lacks the features that I would like to see in an editing software. It does have some things that are amazing in there and super easy to pull off, and depending on the project, I will actually export my video from Premiere, do some things over to it in Final Cut, and then bring it back into Premiere and export it. One thing that I find Final Cut X to be amazing for is titles and end screens. They have an endless amount of plugins and stock stuff that you could adjust, like titles and end screens and lower thirds and stuff like that, and I love doing those graphic things in Final Cut, exporting them and throwing them into Premiere. Another thing that you could do directly from Final Cut X that I think is amazing is you could write a DVD directly from their software without going to an extra software. A downside from Adobe when they moved to the CC, the cloud-based subscription service, from the CS series is they lost Adobe Encore. Encore was the software where you could write DVDs and Blu-ray, and the reason that was so good was if you needed to create a disc for somebody with a perfect intuitive menu, you would use Encore. Now, not so easy. I still have the CS6 version, so I do use that to burn Blu-rays and stuff, but because it's so outdated at this point, it does have a hard time crashing and stuff like that. There's always an issue. So Final Cut X being able to do it while not being able to make fully immersive clickable menus and stuff like that in the software, it is good that you just have the option to throw something onto a disc, whether to back it up or to burn it to a disc to watch on, a Blu-ray player or something. So it's awesome that it has the capability to do that. Other than those two things, personally, I don't like it. It just doesn't work for me. I think when you make cuts and how it's like drag and drop bubbles and stuff, it's not easy to make perfect cuts. It's just, don't like it. So then let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is going to probably surprise you a little bit. This one is Avid. Avid is the time-tested, industry-standard software for television, film, whatever, Hollywood, corporate, whatever. A lot of people use that software. A lot of top of the line video editors swear by it. I just don't like it. I think it's, I don't know. How can I say it? I think it's kind of passé. I think their library system and some of the other stuff is just, I don't know. It just doesn't work for me. I don't know what else to say. It's better than Final Cut. You know, it's better than HitFilm. But it's just, I'm sorry, Avid. It's not for me. That's all. Number 2. DaVinci Resolve. I still need to learn this software better, but almost everyone in the industry recognizes this as the standard for color correction and color grading. Since then, they've incorporated many other things into one app, including your nonlinear editor. You could do special effects, you could do sound, all of it in one program where you just click between the tabs. And for the most part, that is revolutionary, because Adobe, you got to send it over to After Effects, you got to send it to Audition, you got to send it to Photoshop, you got to send it over here, you got to just everywhere. Now, Adobe's pretty good about it, where like it opens up the program as soon as you hit save, it automatically shows up back here, so it's pretty good. But having it all in one software, oh my God, that is so perfect. So I give them a lot of credit for that. I do think if you're an Adobe user or a Final Cut user, there's a bit of a learning curve to getting on DaVinci Resolve. If you're just starting out and looking for a video editing software, honestly, I would probably recommend DaVinci Resolve. If you own a Blackmagic camera, it's free for the Professional Studio Edition. Otherwise, if you're looking for one that's a little dumbed down, but not really, it's free. That's awesome. You don't have to pay anything. You know how much money I spend on Premiere every year? Hundreds. It's crazy. Very expensive. But number 1, Adobe. I'm sorry. I said it. Adobe, number 1. I'm just going to leave it out there. Even though I have some gripes about how expensive it is, I have some gripes that it crashes and gives me error messages. Adobe, to me, is the time-tested champion, the industry standard, the one that I will probably use until the day I die, as long as they're in business, which foreseeably they should be. As far as what you can do and the capabilities, even if like DaVinci has all these programs built into one, having a separate software that is focused specifically on something and being able to seamlessly send it back and forth most of the time is amazing. So if I have a project and I need to work on something that could be edited for a photo, shoot it over to Photoshop, shoot it back. If I need to do special effects, shoot it over to After Effects, shoot it right back. I need to do sound design, shoot it over to Audition, shoot it right back. All of that is so intuitive and so perfect for helping your workflow. It's just unparalleled. Being able to do things like that are amazing. As far as an NLE goes, Premiere has been an NLE since the dawn of time. It is perfect in as many ways as it can be for me as an editor. Not for everybody, but for me, the layout, where the buttons are, how things work, it's just easy as far as my understanding of editing goes. But don't let any of this get you concerned about which editor to choose, because editing software is just about where the button is. It's nothing about how you should edit, how you should make cuts, where you should put things. That's what's truly important. The software that you use doesn't matter, because no matter what, you can find where the cut tool is. You could find where the denoise effect is. You can find out how to key out a green screen in whatever software. But learning that foundational knowledge of how to edit and the theory and practice behind it and how you can engage your audience emotionally is what makes editing important. What you use, the tools that you use, doesn't matter. Learn and focus on how to edit, how to get responses and reactions out of your cuts and what you choose to do within the software. That is what makes people a great editor, not how much money you pay for a software or which software you choose to go with, if it's free, if it's not, or oh my God, this one has this built in. It doesn't matter. Learn about how to engage your audience. Take them along this journey with you. Utilize core editing theory principles. What you should do is watch the scene. Think about when you should show somebody else's face, why you should show it. Say, okay, I'm watching this scene. Somebody just said this, and that's important what they said, and it's so powerful. But at the same time, what's more important is how the person who's hearing it in that scene is affected. So I'm choosing to cut to that person's face because I want to see how they feel about it more than I want the people to see the person who's saying it. Those are things in editing that you learn from experience. Doesn't matter where that experience is, and that's what you can take with you no matter what software and company that you go to. That's what you want to focus on, choosing where and when to put what music and what sound effects to bring out the life of the scene, and how to color correct it and what colors engage the audience in these scenes. That is what you should focus on. So if you have any questions about that, my name is Brandon Ascari from Ascari Digital's Content Creator Academy, and as always, I encourage you, please leave a comment down below with any question that you may have for me. I'm happy to answer them. Don't forget to share the video with all your friends and family, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and give me a big thumbs knockout punch, because I love it when people hit the thumbs up button. Now I'd like to propose a little challenge. Any editing software you use, it doesn't matter. Cut together a little video, it could be whatever you want. Leave a link to it down below or upload it or whatever, send it over to me. I'd love to see it. We could talk about it on the channel. I don't mind giving free advice or critiques on them. I think that is the ultimate way to learn. But anyway, in the meantime, everybody, I will see you.